Alright guys, Darren from FBA Elite and welcome back to another video. So this week I've been cleaning out my office and I came across a number of samples for different products that I've considered selling at some point on my FBA journey. So what I thought would be a good idea would be to take 3 of those products, show you guys each product, talk about why I was interested in selling it, and then we're going to dive onto Amazon for each product to see whether it is still a viable opportunity or not. My gut feeling is all of these products are probably still viable opportunities, but they don't currently fit my current business plans and business preferences. So with that said, let's jump straight into it. I've got 3 different products to choose from. I'm going to go for this one first. Now, many of you guys, if you've watched my previous videos, will know that I used to sell a car boot liner. That was my very first product. I sold that for the best part of 3 years and did very well from that product. Now at the time I was looking at a similar product and this was one of the ones I came across, which is a car boot organizer. So you can see this is folded up at the moment, so I'm just gonna undo these clips and show you the version that I developed because I was quite happy with this product actually. So if we open it up, so I had this car boot organizer. This would sit in your car boot, and you can see here on this left hand side here, that is a cool bag department. So if you've been to the shops, you can pop in all of your groceries in there, or maybe even if you go to the takeaway and you want to keep your food warm, you can pop it in there as well. So I made sure that was quite thick so it actually did do the job. And a general compartment here with some adjustable dividers, so you can divide this compartment up however you want depending on your needs for the stuff you keep in your boot. Now I was really happy with this product, and this is really high quality. The problem was in the end, possibly because I tried to put too much into one product, and this is quite a common thing you see, is the unit price got too high to be viable. So I decided against that product at that time. So let's jump onto Amazon now and see what the demand of stuff is currently looking like. So car boot organizer, always go with the first auto suggest, as that will be the highest volume search term for that particular way you're typing that. And let's open up X-ray. Actually, before we do, let's take a look. You can see these are comparable, exactly the type of product that I just showed you. Scroll down a bit further. There are a couple of variations. So you've got these ones here which hang on the back of the car seats instead of actually sitting on the boot floor. So that is certainly something to look at as well. Maybe there's a cheaper way of getting into this niche instead of the more expensive product. But let's run Helium 10 and take a look through the statistics and see how things look now compared to when I was looking at this product, probably I'd say about 2 years ago now. First thing I'm going to do is pop on the filter just to exclude the sponsored results so they don't distort anything. So let's go from left to right. Are the products comparable? Sort of, because like I said, you've got a lot of them now that are hanging off the back of the back car seats rather than sitting on the boot floor. So you need to go through here individually and make sure any of the stats here that you like the look of were for comparable products. There's no point going, oh, this one looks really good, it's doing 450 units per month, but it's a different type of product and only sells for $9.99. So be careful you don't get caught out of that when looking through any particular niche. We then look at the brand, so there's no brand domination here. We'd then take a look at the price column. This looks to be lower than when I was looking to get into this niche. I think I was looking around about the £25, possibly as high as £30 price point to start selling this product. So if it wasn't viable then, actually it probably isn't viable now unless you can drive the unit price down. I mean, you've got an average price point of 17. Some of these, the bigger ones here are selling for around £25, even £30, and they're doing over 300 units per month. So maybe the ceiling price for the product is higher than what we're seeing here. Maybe you'll be able to make money at the £30 price point, or 35, or even 38.99. I'm sure at 38.99 you could make some very, very good profits. We then look to see what the sales distribution was like. The sales distribution is actually quite good in this niche. Yeah, you've got 1 or 2 that are doing big numbers, but it is quite well distributed across that first page. Seasonality, I'm not going to dive into it, but I wouldn't imagine these are going to be too seasonal. We've then got the revenue, so whether you prefer to do it by sales or revenue. But you can see quite a few of these products are doing over 10 grand of revenue per month. And then I would go across, I would keep an eye on the FBA fees. That is something you always need to watch, and I've covered that in previous videos. So if your product is 1 centimeter or so either way of the threshold, that can really have a big impact on your FBA fees. So always check the dimensions of the packaged product. And then finally, the quick thing I take a look at is the review count here. So a number of them are in 4 figures, which will be difficult to compete against. But we do have here one with only 4 reviews on the first page, but they are, I would guess, let's come over here to the left. Actually, they are at a good price point, which is quite surprising, as sometimes getting onto the first page will require a lower price initially so that you can compete when you've got a really low review count. So that certainly shows it's possible. And another one here in double figures getting onto this first page. So potentially there is still an opportunity in this niche because the products that are on there are okay, but I think there's room to stand out. But the average price point probably does concern me a little bit, especially seeing that the majority of the more expensive ones are further down on this page. But I wouldn't exclude it based on that. I'll do spend some more time researching this niche, seeing what sort of product I can come up with. So that was why I considered selling that product. So on to the next. Which one should we go with? We've got another one here in a nice package bag with some inserts there. You can't quite see. I can't quite show you the full what's on the insert, of course. Here we go. So these ones here, I've had this in my office for probably about 2 years. And again, a product that I very nearly launched. This is an underbed storage bag. So you can either put clothes in there, or toys, or shoes, or whatever you want to put in there. And again, this is one that I was quite happy with the actual product. I come very, very close to launching this actually. And the material it's made from is called a printed material. So the fabric isn't woven, it's printed in layers. And it's actually quite durable. But yeah, so what I tried to do was develop this in a grey with black seam design so that it would appeal to as many people as possible. As in the UK, grey is a very on-theme design choice for interior decor, so having grey underbed storage probably would tie into that for many people, so would have the widest possible appeal. And I think I was going to do like a 2 or 3 pack of those and try and compete. Why did I not go through it at the end? I think it was possibly at the time when I was starting to think about whether I wanted to move away from heavier products. You know, this, I'm not realistically going to be able to fly this in. This would need sea shipping. And I think that was probably the main reason. I have actually explored this product again recently, and I'm just going to show you guys what we found. So let's come on here, underbed storage. We're going to go storage bags because that is of course a bag, it's not a box, and we'll see what the competition is like. So you've got these ones here, which are very similar to what I've got. You've got other styles of bags. Come down so you can see people have got the 3 bags, 4 bags in a pack, and you can see the design that I've got there is actually quite similar to what is going on here as well. So I remember at the time, some of the things that I was really focused on was making sure that the handles had really good stitching. So if you pulled the handle from under the bed, the handle didn't just tear off. I think people liked having either a completely clear or at least partially clear top so they could see in and see the products inside, and also handles on more than one side. So these ones here only have a handle on the end. These ones here have multiple handles, which makes it easier for pulling out, but also carrying it as well if you've got multiple handles to choose from. And I think zip quality was very important. As you can imagine, these would cross-thread very easily if the zip was low quality. So that is just a few of the things you have to think about when working with this type of product. Let's have a quick scroll down, see what's going on in the niche. So we've got some other ones now, slightly different shape. I don't know if they'd fit under the bed, but that certainly work well in the wardrobes. And down here as well, different quantities. So these are doing a 5-pack and they're bundling in some stuff as well now. So you can see there's a bit more competition in this niche. But I would still say, looking at these, the actual listings aren't that great. None of these look that exciting. I still think there's room to stand out in this niche. But let's run Helium 10, or should I say X-ray from Helium 10, see what the latest stats show. And I'll just make that full screen so you guys can see it. And again, we'll go from left to right. We already know all of these products are comparable as we just scroll down through the search results. No issue with brand domination here. Price point, again, at that £17 average. And generally, this is actually made up of people closer to that point, rather than being lots of people at £9.99 and some people at £30, £35. Most people here are between, I'd say, you know, £11 and £12 up to £16, £17. So that would be your target zone. I wouldn't feel comfortable coming to this niche aiming for 25 or 30 because there's not enough evidence to suggest that. And looking at these now, if I think back to what these cost, it might not be viable at the moment to source these. I think these sourced a few pounds per unit. So doing a 3-pack and selling it for 15, 16, 17 pound, I think the margins would be very tight. Sales are pretty good. Let me just run the filters again, actually get rid of the sponsored products so they don't mess with what we're seeing. So here, 300, 300, 8, 2, 3. So potentially if you found an opportunity in this niche, you could go in aiming of somewhere between 200 to 300. I think that's realistic to have a good chance of getting on the first page. Over to the right hand side here, revenue. You know, the revenues are a bit lower on this product because the demand obviously is a bit lower, but you can see between 4,000 to 8,000 definitely doable. FBA fees look fine. Review ratings, no one's dominant. There's no one there with lots of 5-star reviews. People have got 4.1, 4.3, 4.4, which shows there's room for improvement in the niche. And if we go a bit further over to the right hand side here, what the actual review counts, we've got some in double figures and single figures. So this shows it's actually it's certainly possible to get ranked on this first page without having lots of reviews. So it's rare you'll see this where a niche with people with single digit reviews are on this first page, especially considering what the demand levels are like. So again, an opportunity there if you can get the profit margins to stack up, and that's probably the same for both of those products. Based on what I know about the products at the moment without going back to suppliers, the profit margins are currently not high enough, but you may be able to come up with a way of offering a product within this niche where the profit margins do stack up, because certainly the demand is there and the opportunity to get onto the first page is there as well. So those are the first two products. Now the final product here, you'll probably think is actually on quite a similar vein because they do look very similar. So here we are, almost exactly the same color with the black seam as well, which is a very popular choice. So these are, I think they're classed as clothes drawers organizers. And again, another one I liked, and these are really cool as well because they package down really well. So the actual base that secures and it forms the shape comes out, and they flat pack like that. So your actual fees can be kept limited because these package down really well. And it's the same for all of these products. These all package down nice and flat. Also because they're made of material, return rates are quite low because they don't get damaged in transit because they're made of material, not made of anything breakable. So I do quite like working with materials. It does give you that advantage. But again, unless you're selling a very small pack of these, you're probably going to have to sea ship, which is completely against the direction I'm taking my FBA business at the moment. But let's try these clothes drawer organizers. There we go. And you can see almost identical products. Some people here focused more towards underwear organizers with the little compartments for your socks, your pants and your boxers or your knickers or whatever you want to pop in there. Some that are just focused on bra organizers, as you can see in these pictures. And what else do we have here? See, a nice video to help them stand out in this niche. So potentially this product may not have a very good USP, but if you've got a nice video compared to all these other people who aren't using sponsored video ads, they might do really well without actually having a better product. And that's sometimes the thing with Amazon. You don't necessarily have to have the best product, but if you present it in the best way, then you can stand out in these niches. Let's run Helium 10 again and see what we get for the latest stats compared to when I was looking at these. Let's filter the results, get rid of the sponsored ads. Let's take a look from left to right. So I think based on the ones we saw, they were mostly comparable here. Now, there are, like I just said, kind of sub-niches within this. Some are general organizers, like I just showed you. Some are more aimed at either organizing underwear or maybe organizing shoes or organizing clothes, because you need different size compartments. So maybe an adjustable drawer organizer would be more beneficial as it appeal to more people. Or if you are within each one of those niches, try and see how products that are similar to that. So maybe one that's focused on bra storage, see how the rest of them that are focused on bra storage are doing. But don't just compare blindly stats you see here without seeing what actual product they refer to. So from left to right here, we've just had a discussion about that point. No one is brand dominating. Average price point at £16. But again, similar to the first product, there's a couple that are lower and a few that are higher. Now what this says to me with these near the top, actually aiming into the mid to low 20s is certainly possible with this product. And that is what I'd be looking to do if I did come into this niche. Demand is well spread across the first page. You can see here a lot of people doing multiple thousands per month. FBA fees look pretty good. Reviews actually higher on average than the previous niche, which most people are at 4.4 or 4.6, which is going to show us at 4.5 stars visually when customers see the listing. And the review counts, there's a few in 4 figures, but quite a few in double figures. So certainly possible to get onto this first page. So based on that, I would say this niche is still viable if you can come up with an offering that would justify a higher price point. And I think that's the key to all 3 of these niches at the moment is profitability. And that is the key to every niche, of course, is profitability. But it's something you have to watch so closely at the moment with high shipping fees that you do not lose out in that area. So do the research up front. You'd rather walk away from a product knowing that the profitability was wrong then import those products, invest in 500 products and find out actually when you come to sell them, you're not making much money. So those are the 3 products that I've just found as I've been going through my office. There are others as well, so maybe we'll do another video like this at some point. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I was using X-Ray from Helium 10 to do the product research that you've seen in this video. If you do want to use Helium 10, you can use our discount code. So you've got FBA Elite 50. That will give you 50% off your first month. And you can see here, they've got a slightly redesigned pricing page. So that's why I wanted to show you the new code input box. So FBA Elite 50 for 50% off, as you can see here, or you can put FBA Elite 10. That will give you 10% off every month instead of just 50% off your first month, or use either code and that will save you 25% on the annual plan. And that is by far the cheapest way of getting Helium 10 if you plan to use it long term. If you're not already a member, FBAelite.com, sign up. It's completely free. We've got forums there for all areas of Amazon FBA with over 4,000 members. Plus we've got the resource section here with lots of things that will help you with your Amazon FBA journey, such as the product research checklist, also a link to the course and stuff as well that we offer, and the exclusive discounts of things like Helium 10 like I just showed you. But hopefully you guys found this video helpful, seeing 3 of the different products I've considered selling as part of my FBA journey. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the forums.